Make sure you.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Sip and Talk with Freema on this great Monday. Today's Monday?
It's Monday.
Wow!
It's money making Monday.
Monday making Monday. My lips are getting all stuck from putting on this lipstick. Anyway, you guys, haven't seen y'all in a long time, but y'all know how we do. We have these discussions. We talk about real life scenarios, and we just allow ourselves to think outside the box, see things from different perspectives. I'm gonna have to wipe this lipstick off. Make sure y'all share. So today we're talking about emotional maturity. Angela, me and Angela was on the phone today, and we always have deep conversations. You know, like, are you able to handle different situations in your relationships? Are you emotionally mature enough to speak up?
Or are you emotionally mature enough to pipe it down? Because you can be both ways with it. So
absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about it. So I always start with self. I always start with myself, and I always reflect on myself in previous relationships, because what we do, we have to learn from our previous relationships. When people say don't bring baggage, that includes emotionally, mentally, all of that stuff. Do not bring it into your previous relationship. What we have to do is learn from it. So what I learned is that I'm not emotionally detached. I think I'm emotionally mature because I'm able to sit here and communicate about things in a mature manner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can communicate effectively, and you communicate in a healthy manner. Not only that, you also set boundaries.
Right.
And you know how to deal with a stressful situation. So you can agree to disagree. So, that's some examples of emotional maturity. And you know how to resolve conflicts.
Absolutely.
So those are examples of emotional maturity. Now, sometimes, and I can say from past experience, we didn't always have that. I know I didn't. Because just dealing with past relationships, and that's not just intimate, that's also with family, that's working relationships, just blowing all the way up, outbursts.
Right.
Not knowing how to resolve a conflict. Always blaming somebody else, or not speaking up enough.
Right.
So it's very important.
Now, one thing I want to piggyback is when you said not speaking up enough. I know this is something I used to do. And again, this is not just intimate relationships. This is relationships all the way around. I used to let people, believe it or not, I don't want to say run over me, but I always, at a moment, I felt like, okay, I'm going to choose my battle, not say things. But sometimes it's best to speak up. Right. Because you're now teaching people how to treat me.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? I did this to Freema. Oh, she ain't gonna do that.
Guess what?
Talk to me later.
So guess what you just did? You allowed them to know the door's open. I'm gonna do it again and again and again and again. It don't matter what it is.
And guess what? Now you're doing. You're now neglecting yourself emotionally. Exactly. Because now you're stressed out. You're upset. Right. You're miserable because you allow this behavior for so long. That's right. And now they're gonna keep doing it. But either one, I don't know. Do you like it, or you don't want to be?
No, you're emotionally immature because you have not yet addressed the fact that you have not realized I need to speak up.
Right.
And if this behavior continues, you're gonna keep having the same problems. And guess what you're doing? See? The more that you allow this to happen, now you got to reach out to other folks.
Yep.
And you're stressing other people out because you don't know how to deal with your stuff.
Absolutely.
So it starts with self. Like 100%. It starts with self. And I'm speaking from experience because I've been there before. Like, you open the door to certain things, and we're real about it. So let's just be real about it. So a prime example, coming home late. So if your person came home late one time, okay, you don't say nothing at all. But you pipe, you walking around, you huffing and puffing, you open your mouth.
You ain't open your mouth. You didn't speak on it.
You ain't speak on it. So they know, okay, it's cool. They do it again. Now you in there slamming doors.
Yep.
Right?
Or you pulling a me. You pulling a me. Okay, because CJ used to do it. Like I say, I'm very transparent with you guys. What I did, tit for tat.
Yeah. So now
I used to make myself go somewhere.
So now you what you're doing, now you done got on their level. So what you did to yourself, you devaluing yourself. Yep. You devaluing yourself to get on somebody else's level, and you think you're teaching them a lesson, but what you're doing is being very devaluing. Because you don't got to get on nobody's level. So what you should have did was speak up instead of pipe down. So what you did was lower your standards to even get on their level when you should have speak up for yourself.
Because all that's doing for a person that want to do whatever they want to do, they're going to do it regardless. So by me doing tit for tat is just telling him, hell, I can go tomorrow night because she went.
Exactly. So now it's a never-ending cycle. So guess what? In my scenario, I didn't say nothing. So guess what happened? It happened
It
again
happened
and again. And then
again.
finally, I just blew up. And now I'm over compensating. I'm all over the place. I got an outburst now. So now I got a problem. Now I look like I'm a crazy person because I never addressed it before.
Right.
I let it go on. I'm acting out. I let it go on too long. And whose fault is it? My fault. I can't be mad at the individual. It's my fault because I let it happen the first time. But here's the kicker to being emotionally mature. You treat people, you tell people how to treat you in the beginning. You tell them what your standards are, what you're not going to deal with, what you're going to allow. Because the minute that they do something outside of that, you set the ground rules.
Absolutely.
And if they do something and violate that, there's no need.
Remember we spoke about earlier about putting someone else's feelings or maybe selfishness or being selfish. There is a time when it's okay to be selfish. At the beginning of the relationship, when you're out dating, hey, it's all about you at that dinner table. Let them know what you will and will not accept or what you expect. However, a lot of people say expectations, that proves disappointment. No, we're at this dinner table, and if this, I'm putting this out here 100%, if this person know and if they're real, they're going to say, well, that's something I know I can't live up to, or that's something I know I can't do for you. Then you know you cut ties. So it's okay to be selfish at that moment and care about just your feelings because you're just getting to know that person.
That's right.
I mean, plain and simple, but a lot of us pipe down and simmer down. I don't want him to think this way about me, so I'm not going to now I like X, Y, and Z.
Now you're pretending to be someone that you're not.
Absolutely.
So what did you do? You created false expectations. You're untruthful. So not the whole truth is still a lie. So let's go ahead and put it out there to start with. Because now you can't even be yourself. So now when you go do that thing that you say you don't do, or they do that thing that you say you was okay with, now you got to be real.
Or you do that thing that you did not mention, knowing that's something you're going to do in the relationship.
It's a problem.
It's a problem because you should have mentioned it.
It's definitely
I'm controlling. Hey, I'm telling you now, I'm controlling. What do you mean controlling? You know, it's up to that person, ask questions, whatever. I'm telling you now, I'm controlling. I like for you to answer when I call. I like for you to text me back immediately. And if you sit across from me and say, hey, well, I know I can't do that because
go ahead and cut ties.
Then there's nothing else to talk about.
It's like what happens is we find ourselves put in these situations and then it's like we act like we stuck. You're never stuck because when you have emotional maturity, you're gonna love your stuff more.
Absolutely.
You always have a way out. You could take a way out any given day and say, deuces. And that's not just a relationship. That's with a job.
Yeah.
Because, that's another type of relationship right there. The only people you can't deuces to are your kids. but those are examples of when you can say, I'm not happy with what's going on here.
Ooh, speaking of kids, and I mean to cut you off. So we're talking about prioritizing or what comes first in your life. And what I realized just through conversation, because like I say, we have deep conversations, me and all my friends. Hey Ray, thank you for tuning in. Make sure if y'all want to discuss something, put it in the comments. We're free to discuss it. I love talking. We love open. We love debate and all that good stuff. But what's important to you in a relationship is let's say, I'm going to use me for an example like I always do. So I have children, I have financial responsibilities. I have a love life. But what order
the priority
does that come in? What is the priority?
So let them answer the questions and then we can talk about that once they answer. That would be another
topic. If
they answer. So please answer, and that would be a great topic for us to talk about so we can go over it. Because we definitely want to discuss this topic. Like it's worth talking about. So like another big thing with emotional maturity is being able to know how to deal with a conflict.
Absolutely.
Like conflict resolution is more than just communicating. You got to know how to pick and choose those battles wisely. You got to know, how do I resolve this conflict? You got to know, how do you fight fair? Like, what do you not do? Are you going to be the person that say things that you know you can't take back? Are you going to say things that you know are going to hurt? Or are you going to be the person that actually say the things that you need to say? Because sometimes you can say things that cut deep, and guess what? Now you are emotionally immature because you purposely said something out to someone. So be mindful of how you resolve conflicts, and other people cannot resolve your conflicts. That when you and your person have a conflict, you can't go seek counsel from other people. You got to talk to your person. And if your person don't want to communicate, then that's your answer. No answer is an answer. Always is. Always is. It never changes. That's always your answer.
I miss so much. I do apologize. You know, this kind of took precedent. That was one of my children, as we were talking about.
I was just saying about conflict resolution. And what about empathy?
Oh my God, that is a big one, because to me, if you can't show empathy, to me, you're emotionally detached. That's how I feel. Yeah. If you can't put yourself in my shoes to understand how this may affect me, then yeah, we have a problem. And like I said, I'm very transparent. One thing that will cause me to walk away from a relationship really quick is if you can't empathize with me. Lord, y'all, I have to learn to govern my emotions. I have to be emotionally mature right now because so much is going on around. The system playing outside.
That's a prime example.
We have Mimi barking. Exactly. We have visitors, and y'all, I'm trying to maintain and show y'all that I am emotionally mature and I can.
You're not gonna blow up,
and I'm not gonna.
This is a prime example.
Certain things I cannot control, right?
Because you're being flexible.
I'm being flexible,
and you're caring about others.
And this was an impromptu show, so I can't really say I prepped to where I had everything deep down. Don't let it out.
And here's another big one: being open-minded.
What else a lot? Mimi, that's enough.
Well, Mimi says she's home, so being open-minded. You know, when your person presents something
to
you.
Ray said, I'm sorry. My ex was 42, putting her parents in our business.
Woo! See that goes. Well, we can talk about that. Ray.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Like that goes back to what I just said. Why are you always do not try to resolve your conflicts by telling other people? Because that's going to upset your person.
Or I will say this, because I'm an open book. I will go to Angela, Nicole, Denise, April, Stacey, whatever. Guess what Freema's going to do? Freema's going to do what she's want to do, but I am very big on seeing things from different perspectives. You see what I'm saying? And I don't care if they're upset about the situation, whatever, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to make the decision that's best for me.
I don't think that's how he meant it. I think he meant it as whatever they had going on, she telling her parents, and guess what? It may have not been painted as a good picture.
So now they still upset with you.
Exactly.
And she took you back.
And guess what? Either which way, one thing you have to learn with your person, whether this is your significant other, your fiance, your husband or wife, it doesn't matter. Do not tell no parents what y'all got going on. I don't care. Your parents, his parents, nobody's parents. Because what's going to happen is they're going to start formulating their own opinions. And they're going to get tired of hearing it. Because they're going to tell you then why you deal with it. And you're going to look stupid in the face because they're going to say, well, baby, you got to do what you got to do. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Look, I can tell you that. Been there, done that.
All of us have.
And, and just speaking from experience, you got to grow up.
You got to be very selective of who.
Not parents. That's why I said no parents. Like you leave parents are off limits to relationship turmoil. They're off limits. I don't care how bad you want to talk to them. You better write it down. You better write a letter to yourself. And Ray said, I divorced her as quicker as I proposed.
And I love that for you, Ray, because a lot of people have sat there. A lot of people have sat there and took it. And I got so many reasons, but I'm not gonna do that. I got so many reasons why some men would have sat there and took that shit from her. Because one, I said I wasn't gonna do it. They probably ain't had their shit together. For two, they probably ain't had their shit together. For three, they probably ain't had their shit together and had to deal with it. Kudos to you, Ray. Stop. I'm not gonna go there. This is gonna make me go somewhere else. Arthur said that dog is going crazy as always. But I used to think communication was key, but it's really comprehension.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Communicating with comprehension.
Yep. And once you comprehend, then you have to pick your battles. Keep family out of your business.
That's right.
You can forgive, but those
exactly
may not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They will hold a grudge against your person. You have family functions. You have family vacations, holidays. They're going to look at you crazy. And guess what your family going to start doing?
And they may treat that person a little cold. So now your person is feeling some type of way. And y'all were good.
And y'all good now, but y'all done went to a family event. Yep. Now the turmoil is back in your house.
You know why?
because you invited them in to start with.
Absolutely. Stop inviting people into your
stuff.
home.
Exactly.
Because one thing I can say for certain, and it sounds crazy, the people that I do vent to or get advice from, you best believe my person will never know because they're not going to treat them no different. But I'm not going to mama.
No, my mama will never know.
No.
My parents, like, from what I experienced, I did this one time. And I learned my lesson. I said after that, they would never know what's going on in any relationship I got going on. They would never know.
Hey Shakira, thanks for tuning in. Basically, we're just talking about emotional maturity, which of course that leads to everything else in relationships.
Right. Just being mature as an individual.
You gotta
be mature as an individual, so you know the do's and the don'ts as a person.
Absolutely.
You know you're gonna treat people the way you want to be treated. You know you're going to always have a sense of empathy.
A sense of empathy.
You know you're gonna know when to speak and when not to speak.
Exactly.
You know how to resolve conflict. But guess what? When you carry this over into a relationship, you gotta have the same maturity.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes your person gonna say something that you don't like. And you could respond in a way that I tell you what, I may not agree with what you're saying. However, this is how I feel.
And one thing we have to do is respect the way people fight battles. And I don't mean fight physically. I know what I mean. The not necessarily arguments, but the disagreements. We have to respect how that other person may handle disagreements or how they
fight language. They may say, give me some time. That's it. So don't force it.
Don't be this nag now. You know when men say you nagging, that's because you follow them around the house and they trying to say, hey, just give me a minute. And tell me now. I want to talk now.
Oh, this is nagging.
Oh my God.
Why you keep going on about something? If you already feel you got the answers, keep your mouth shut. You know the answers already. So if you got the answers, don't ask me nothing. I can speak from experience. We both speak from experience.
Listen,
we speak from experience.
Took me back.
Yeah.
You took me back. Okay. We're not gonna keep talking about this. And then women tend to think these men have these nonchalant attitudes about something they did. No, it's nothing else for us to talk about. You already took me back. We're back living together. Right. You gotta let that shit go.
Leave it where it's at.
Leave it where it's at.
Because
why?
If you wasn't over it, then you should have said, hey, I'm not over this thing yet. Let's date and see. But I do want to try to build. But I'm not over it yet. That's being emotionally mature to say it. Don't sit there and agree to something and you know that you're not past it yet.
Right.
Hey, been there, done that. You been there, done that?
Been there, done that.
Like we hello somebody. We trying to help somebody. We don't know everything, but we know a little something.
Absolutely. Kamaya said, hey, cuz I think knowing to ask the right questions based on the nature of the survival and love. My emotional maturity came from me having no choice but to date myself.
That's right.
So I know the difference between being lonely, alone, and being unhappy with the person.
That's right, Kamaya.
That's the best thing
you learned yourself.
I love it.
Yep, you learned
the best thing we could have said
time
tonight.
To learn yourself, to figure out what hurts you, to love yourself. Self-love is the epitome of emotional maturity. You got to love yourself to know what to put yourself in. And what to tolerate, when to speak up, what to say, what to do, how to react. You got to love yourself because you represent yourself 24 hours a day. Nobody else represents you but you. And
one thing we learn when we come with self-love or healing is, like she said, is not being, you got to know the difference between being alone and lonely. You got to be content with being with self.
That's it.
You got to be content with say, okay, if I happen not meet nobody in a year or two, I'm still happy. I'm still good. I'm still in a great place. You get what I'm saying? That's when you
don't have nobody there just because you don't want to be by yourself.
Exactly. That's not good. That's not good.
I've ran across people and just male and female just talking, and they'll be like, "Well, I just didn't want to be by myself." I say that's not a good enough answer because that saying is you are wasting somebody else's time because you didn't want to be alone, and this person that got you in that space,
settling.
But you are that person that got you in that space. They're thinking that you're there in it for the long haul and you're not there for that purpose. So now y'all got two different intentions. Y'all got two different agendas. So when people are not on the same page, we know neither one of you you're emotionally mature.
Right.
So that's why we're saying in the beginning, sit down.
In the beginning.
Let's talk about it. How do you resolve conflicts? What do you do if we don't agree on something? So, that's something to ask. So let's say if I'm not having a good day, what would you do to comfort me? See them in their seasons. See me sad. See me angry. See me happy. What would you like? You need to know this.
You need to know.
Like it's more to that. When people say, "Hey, let's be together," it don't work like that. You need to be friends. And one thing that I've learned and just researched, if you can't be a person's friend, your relationship will never make it. Because if your friendship will take you further than that relationship, you got to be that friend first, because you will respect that friendship when love is on its last leg. Because you can fall back in love with a person continuously. But that friendship is like, you know what? We were friends first. You will always have that to go back to. That will always take you back to that place. Because with love, it's hard to go back to that sometimes.
It is.
It's very hard. It's very hard. So build that friendship first. So you date each other. But don't just jump into something, but build friendships.
Nicole said, I guess y'all don't see The Past, the movie.
No, I haven't
seen it. I heard it was good, though. Ray said, I go outside and vent to the damn squirrels. That's about the best thing you can do. Arthur said, people should learn to find other ways to vent other than telling your business to others. Remember, when you tell others about your truth, others are involved as well. They might not want others to know their business. That's very true.
Arthur, you hit it on the head. Stop telling people's business. Because when you tell them the business, you ain't telling just yours. You telling
theirs too.
Theirs too. And they may not be okay with that.
Raymond Williams, y'all too beautiful to let men make you too mad. Love your show, Freeman. Thank you. Good topic. Y'all too Oprah and Gail. Love this topic. And we as Black people need this good medicine from y'all too.
Thank you. Like,
and see, that's the thing, because we're now emotionally mature.
Yeah,
back
we
then
can talk
we probably
about it.
Weren't. I don't allow people to steal my joy, because guess what I do, Raymond? Now the time when I separated from my husband in 2018, I learned peace. What was I, like 36 years old? That was the first time I had
peace within you by yourself.
By myself. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So I learned that if anything steals my joy, my peace, it's no longer valuable to me. And just to go back to what Angela said, as far as you got to be able to be with self.
That's right.
You got to treat people how you want to be treated.
That's right.
And when at first, at young age, I never really understood that. You get what I'm saying? I would treat people how I want to be treated. No, they need to treat me. Da, da, da. I never understood it until I got older and learned peace and learned to be with self.
That's right.
I learned that if I'm treating people how I want to be treated 100%, and I realize you're not reciprocating any of that, it's easier for me to walk away, because I know I did everything in my power to make this relationship work, whether it's an intimate relationship, a friendship, family members, whatever. I treated you how I expected you to treat me, and you didn't do it. So it's easier for me to say, I wash my hands with this relationship and I have no regrets. There's no ill feelings. I just know that it's no longer your season to be a part of my life.
That's right.
And that's just it. So treat people how you want to be treated. And I guarantee when people start not reciprocating, it's easier for you to walk away and you will not feel any will by it.
That's right.
A lot of us start justifying behaviors of other people and making it feel acceptable because we know that we was not treating them how they should have been treated. Right. Let's keep it real. We're not treating them 100% correctly. So, they did some wrong to me. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to accept it because I know I was not doing right 100%. But when you know you're doing right, you're not going to accept it.
You're not. Because if you know you're giving 100%, you ain't going to expect nothing but 100 from the next person.
Absolutely.
So, me personally, where I'm at in life, I say what I'm going to tolerate and what I'm not. And that's just the truth.
That's it.
I mean, that's just being realistic.
You have to.
People may think they know me, but they don't know me. Because no one really knows me until you actually sit down and have a conversation with me. Because I have a whole lot to talk about. So, as we continue to go over emotional maturity, I also want to cover another thing, setting healthy boundaries. So when you set healthy boundaries, that goes back to what we were saying about telling a person how to treat you. A healthy boundary is saying fighting fair. Cursing. What about the B word?
Now,
what about like the slander? Like you
calling
your guy, you calling your guy, you either calling your woman a bitch or you calling your guy a bastard.
I want to say this really quick before we move on, before I forget. fellas, do not justify calling your woman the B word just because. Hell, I text Nicole today. It was like, bitch, guess what? Or bitch this, bitch that. That's us. Don't insert yourself into female lingo or language or slang.
Female lingo.
Yeah, don't do that. Just because we call each other that, it is not okay for you to sit here and call that female that. And females, it's not okay for you to call your man a bastard or whatever else. It's not safe.
This is it. A bitch ass nigga.
That's
the one.
I done called somebody a punk ass nigga, and they was like, "Oh my god,
that's
like,
not
girl,
that is. Let me tell you something.
You should never.
A healthy boundary is that so disrespectful because guess what's gonna happen? Your person is gonna forever remember that.
Yep.
And they're gonna hold that against you.
Mm-hmm.
And you are so immature for that.
Yep.
Both of you are very immature for that. So when you get to a point where is a lot of damage been done, somebody got to sit down and be mature and say, all right, let's hang it up.
Yeah.
Somebody got to do it because there's no need to try to keep peddling because one person gonna have their view, one person gonna have their view, and if both of you emotionally immature, you're not gonna see anything. You're not gonna get anywhere. And I can honestly say I've been married 16 years of my life, and I learned a lot in 16 years. Yeah. And in those 16 years, I was emotionally immature some of those years because I had to learn some stuff about me and how to fight fair, or what not to say, or how to set healthy boundaries, or how to be able to have empathy, for the next person, how to treat a person, how to treat the man. Because that's what a lot of times as women, we think we know how to treat a man. We think we know, but we don't really realize they want the same comfort that we want. They want to be cared for. They want to be loved for. They want to be hugged. They want to hear the compliments. They want to hear the same thing that we want. They want appreciation too. So when they feel neglected, what do? And women, when you feel neglected for those things, what do? You keep talking about it. Don't talk about it. Try something different.
Right.
Okay, let me try something different. Let me see if we can bring this thing back. Can we bring the spice back? Stop talking about it. Try to bring the spice back. Ain't she cute?
This is Molly, y'all. Molly. Okay, anyway. All right. So author said, everybody is different. That's why it's important to know your person.
That's right.
The healthy way to set any boundaries is to put them on yourself first. That's right. Absolutely. Some folks don't even know how to set boundaries. Angela is absolutely right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And look, if y'all been watching for a while, y'all know, when you start beating up on the men, I'm like, well, I'm the only girl with brothers. Okay. I come from a family with mostly boys. So, and I got 3 boys. So it's like I have a Achilles heel for understanding them because I have all these emotional males in my life. So it's like I hear all their cries and their stories and their frustration. And these are grown men. Then these are my kids. So it's like I see a different perspective that they are human beings just like us. They have the same feelings just like us. Just because they put their tough exterior on and just because they're a man, do not try to devalue them. Don't try to tear them down emotionally. Because once you tear them down emotionally, they will forever close that door to you, and you will never get that same man. They will forever lose respect for you. Absolutely. Once the respect is gone, it's done.
Okay. Melvin said, we as Black people should not use the N-word. Some for our queens calling each other the B-word. For our queen calling each other B-word. Both words are very offensive and should be banned. Just my opinion. You can't make something bad good. And see, of course, it's your opinion, but we're in the comfort of each other. Yeah. If I'm texting, it's offensive to you, right. Melvin. We get it. It's your opinion. Yeah. But if it works for whomever
we do call each other sis, queen. We do that too. But we're saying like if it's like we didn't have the most amazing thing happen. That's like get my attention. I need your attention now. Yeah. That means like I need your attention. That's like an attention coming word. So that's why we that's our understanding. That's our lingo that we use. So we would never do that to somebody else. So we get it. We appreciate it.
There's still a boundary when it comes to the B word because someone I don't know, I'm not just going to sit here, even if we're having a drink at the bar together, I'm not going to sit here and say, no. This is not my day one, A1, whatever you
That's
call
right.
it. So I'm not, so there's still boundaries to that word. You know, even with the nigga. Let's just call it. Some people say nigger and they feel like, okay, now you're really saying it. You're stressing the ER. And some people say that A makes a difference. Who knows? But to me, it's each his own. It's whatever said in their end and whatever works for their little circle. That's just my opinion. I can care less.
I think we probably touched on a lot of stuff.
We did.
Self-awareness, social skills, emotional intelligence, empathy, self-management, motivation. So emotionally maturity, you got to know how to motivate yourself to motivate somebody else. So guess what? If you can get up and motivate yourself to do something, guess what? Try to do the same for your person. Like you can't just leave your person liking. If that's your person, y'all supposed to be right here.
Absolutely.
You don't want it not left behind because my person is not going to be on my coattail.
They have to be receptive to it though.
They do,
because it can become very draining when you're
can.
constantly.
But guess what? If you sit down and y'all have that emotionally mature conversation, like, hey, look here, this is what we're trying to do. Now, if you done talked about it and they still are liking, then you know what to do.
Yeah,
deuces. But if you haven't had the conversation, then you can't say they understand because maybe they might need to hear that because maybe they might have had some issues later or prior in life where no one ever encouraged them. No one ever said anything to them. Because, you know, we can talk about childhood trauma. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Because emotional maturity has a lot to do with some childhood trauma. We can talk about that another time because that builds us as a person.
Right. Absolutely. Rodriguez said a relationship should not start and end with respect and love. Should start and end with respect and love. If she treats you good, you should treat them better.
That's right.
Relationships are not easy, but it should be a safe space for each other.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah. You should feel safe to be vulnerable with your person.
Absolutely.
So both of y'all emotionally mature. It's a place of vulnerability. You should not walk in your home or get on the phone with your person and you don't have the worst day.
You should be able to cry.
You should be able to cry and vent to them. I don't care what it is you're doing. And you should feel safe doing that with your person because you know they're not going to judge you. They're going to comfort you or whatever it is that you need to do right then and there. They're going to be there.
If you have to think like, oh my goodness, okay, let me sit in a car because a lot of people sit in their car and collect themselves, you know. But if you feel like, oh my God, if I go in here and I cry in front of this girl, she's going to look at me less than a man, then you might want to reconsider.
But how early is it in a relationship? Now, this is
your
your
wife. I
wife.
think that far into it.
That's what I'm saying. But it just depends on where y'all are as a couple.
That definitely makes.
So it depends it depends on where you are as a couple, and is it a healthy relationship? Because if it's not healthy, then you shouldn't be there. So your course, you ain't gonna cry in there. You're gonna come cry at your sister. That's what you're gonna do.
And then it's the family and your business now.
Well, you that's the problem. See how it go back to the same thing? Because it was unhealthy. So if you got to step outside your relationship and talk to somebody, your relationship is not healthy.
Now you're talking to a stranger at work.
You emotionally immature because you can't talk to nobody. Okay? Because you can't talk to your person. So that is toxic and it's not healthy. All right? Get out now.
Arthur said yes. Those conversations is how you determine if that's the person for you or not. 100%.
I know they'll probably say like we are a piece of work.
One thing I wanted to say, and I don't know if I ever said this before, as far as in relationships, and this is for the women, a lot of us end up settling. And let me tell you why we end up settling, because we always think all men cheat or this and that. That's what's been drilled in our heads for so long.
That's it right
you
here.
know what I'm saying?
And that's not the case. That's it. Hold on. Long as he come home
to you every night, he come home to you every night.
As long as he come home to you every night, he helping you with the bills, and he ain't putting his hands on you. You just don't worry about it. That's what they tell you.
We have started settling because it's like, well, my man come home every night. Well, I know he's not cheating on me, but yet he's lacking in so many other areas.
That man could still be cheating.
So just because he's not cheating on you, you still got to make sure that is your person. I'm just saying, he may not cheat, but he may lack in so many other areas. But we learn to settle because it's like, oh, he's not cheating, but I'm going to accept this. No, ma'am.
It ain't that he's not cheating. I'm going to say it to you like this.
That stops today.
I wouldn't even say not cheating. If we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it.
He may not be cheating.
But listen to what I'm saying. Everybody knows their person. You know what your person is capable of. You know what your person, you already know. So you knew who this person was before.
People change.
Y'all got it together. They do change, but guess what? If they did it once, they're gonna do it again and again. So you already know who you're dealing with. So why even be there?
Mm-hmm.
You need to do some emotional. You need to do some soul searching to figure out why am I still here? Because he helped pay the bills and he come home at night because you need a person. If you feel like you need someone there, then that is not the way.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Self-love is a beautiful thing.
I'm telling you.
The best decision I ever could have made was self-love.
And just because
and I sleep great at night.
I'm telling you.
I sleep. Do y'all see the glow on my face? I look like I don't have a bag. I wear no makeup. I just wear lipstick. I don't miss no sleep. I don't stress about nobody.
As you should not.
Or nothing.
And just because you may not have gotten there yet, like I said, it took me until I was 36 years old to get in the space I'm at. So you still have time to say, you know what? It starts tonight. I'm no longer stressing over a person.
That's it.
I'm sorry, it sounds so crazy.
Every day's a new
but
day.
no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that in 2023. Yes, so fine, dropping jewels up there.
Of course. Thank you, Arthur. Yeah, like you can start every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. It's given to you as a new gift. You could even use it or throw it away. What I do today will affect me tomorrow. I cannot blame anyone but myself if I do not succeed. I promise to use this day to the fullest
by giving my best,
knowing it can never come back again. This is my life, and I choose to make it a success.
We learned that in middle school, and it's still applies.
Exactly, and and that carries us. Mm-hmm. Like when I have nothing else going on, and I need to pick myself up.
Okay, Carver is still middle school.
If I need to pick myself up, that's what I recite that to myself.
I'm telling you,
like that picks me up, and like we still know this, and this thing is.
Child,
30
I don't know about
30 years. It picks me up every time. When I need something, I go to that.
Yep.
This is my life.
Yep. Seriously, that's what I'm saying. This is your life. That saying I will always say, this is my world. Everybody else just live in it. Right. It may sound very selfish, but now you got to love yourself. I'm saying, or people gonna run over you. People gonna do what they want to you, and they're gonna feel like you're gonna accept it because you're allowing that behavior.
Because guess what? You accepted it once, you're gonna accept it again and again and again. When are you gonna draw the line? I've been there, done that. Like been there, done that. And let me tell you, the worst time of my life. I barely was eating, barely was sleeping. People got tired of hearing my problems because I didn't know what to do.
Hey,
but all I had to do was just leave. So finally, I got the courage to do that. And guess what? Best decision I ever did. Because when I did that, my life took off. And I've been glowing ever since. And nothing, like I've been glowing ever since because I will never put myself in an unhealthy situation like that. So this is for anyone. If you need to gain emotional maturity, start with self-love and say, I want something different for me. I want to do something different for me. I need to love me. No one's going to overrun me. No one's going to do me like this. I care about me more. Right. And start with that. Yes. And if you start with that, then you will say, you'll be able to speak up for yourself. You'll be able to stand on what you stand for. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Yep. And then when you have that voice, when you say, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. And you talking to somebody who done divorced 2 husbands. Mm-hmm. Oh, they ain't left me. I left them.
Absolutely.
And they'll tell you that.
I'm not saying nowhere that I'm not wanted, because if I was wanted, things would not transpire the way they transpired. And B, we're still in my joy, my peace. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
We'll not do it.
I agree with you both, but some folks use self-love as a cover because they have never learned how to love anyone other than themselves.
So guess what,
That's
Arthur?
The flip side.
So guess what, Arthur? So if you run across a person like that,
run.
What they're doing, let me tell you, when you realize that, it's about me, you say they're selfish, and you already know that that's a person that does not have space for you, they're emotionally unavailable.
Yep, completely.
Because that's when a person overly about that, they're emotionally unavailable. They don't have room for nobody else. So deuces early on.
Real fast. Sit here and don't put yourself first. If you're with somebody and you feel like they're emotionally detached, they're emotionally unavailable, but you still with them, now you got to take a step back and look at yourself.
Or if you feel like they not giving you what you need,
leave. Stop staying in relationships that's not like valuable.
So what's the purpose? Here's my thing. You done text it. You done sent the video. You done talked it.
Don't send me.
You done wrote a letter. Let me tell you something. You done wallow down. You done cry. You done holler. What else more you gonna do? You want Jesus to do it? Okay. Jesus need to come down off his throne to say, I think it's time to go.
Right.
But no.
Thank you, Taryn.
No, it's just a point to that like enough. You get to a point where you get sick or tired of being sick or tired.
Absolutely.
And we're speaking from experience, so we're telling you to help somebody. Because guess what? We're planting these seeds. We're giving these jewels to whoever want to receive it. Let it resonate. Because guess what? We had trouble coming through what we went through.
Absolutely.
And we wish somebody would have planted these seeds in us.
I'm telling you.
Like, so we would have known how to do things a little bit sooner and a little bit faster. But what we're doing is we're helping somebody.
Absolutely. And what I always say before I go to Kareem Post, I don't care if we help one person tonight. We feel like we did our job.
That's right.
Kareem said, I'm trying to word this perfect, but you cannot love anyone if you don't love yourself.
That's right.
Understand yourself first and live life from that.
That's right.
This is my life and I choose to make it a success. Respect in a relationship is everything. Everybody's relationship is not yours.
That's right. You cannot,
I love y'all tonight.
You cannot mirror. You cannot compare what John and Jane got going on.
That works for them.
That works for them. Because guess what? John and Jane work together as a team.
Yeah.
John and Jane don't have everybody in their business. John and Jane are a unit.
Yep.
John and Jane sit down and they work together. But if you can't work together, then you will never be a John and Jane.
Yeah. Stop worrying about everybody else's and what they got going on. What works for them works for them.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna use again myself for an example, and then we can stop it. Let somebody else say something. Okay, so when I had my daughter, she was born with something called GERD. So it was a whole situation. Got to sit up. It was just a lot. So no daycare. We're not doing that. We rather her be home with either mom and dad. Right. At that time, mom was making more than dad. So guess who was a stay-at-home dad? CJ. And that's people on the outside, and that's what works for us. People on the outside looking like, oh, CJ may not be doing this or CJ may not be doing that. No, that's what worked for us.
That was an agreement.
I could have easily stayed home let him bring home what he was bringing, but no. I was already in my career making what I was going to make, so why not?
That was a decision that y'all made.
Stop worrying about everybody else. Correct. Another situation.
Nobody knows what's going to work for your house unless you tell it. Another situation that we need to stop worrying about and judging on, something so minor. Everybody know, CJ's like a cat. He done been hurt several times. On the way from home from the hospital. Got 9
lives. On the way home from the hospital, I stopped and got gas. He couldn't walk. He couldn't even do anything. Guess who's pumping the gas? Me. But what someone said subliminally, oh yeah, Freeman was out there pumping gas while CJ was sitting in the car, not knowing the whole doggone situation. He can't walk. So what?
Minding your business.
Minding someone else's business.
Guess what?
We gotta learn.
They're emotionally immature.
That's why
this topic is so important. Because if you are emotionally mature, you know to take care of self first. You ain't got time to be worrying about nobody else. You worry about self. Let me manage self so I can manage and treat others how I want to be treated. You have empathy. So you won't say those things. You won't be gossiping. You won't have those comments. Absolutely. You won't have those misunderstandings. You know how to conduct yourself.
And keep it moving and not care. Exactly. At one point, me cutting the grass with my push more. Guess why? Because that helps me lose weight. That keeps me going.
Right. Not because your man will do it.
Because my man should do it or my boy should be out there. I choose to do this. Right. We got to learn to stop worrying about things and always looking at things in a negative way. What I always say, find a positive out of every negative situation.
Looking at a glass half empty is a big difference looking at a glass half full.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at a glass half empty, your perception is negative.
It's negative.
So let's go ahead and fix it right now, whoever's listening. If you look at the glass and it's half full, you see it's a chance that I can put more in this glass. So I love it. Let's keep moving. So let's go ahead.
Oh, it's empty. I'm not going to deal with it.
It's not enough. You think it's not enough. So that's your perception already.
Yep. Arthur said, right. I know 2 married couples that move completely different, yet both relationships are successful.
That's right.
It's called your relationship.
That's right.
It's customized for you
That's right.
and your person.
Guess what?
Absolutely.
Guess what? Whatever works for you and your person works for you and your person, and you and your person will level up.
Yes.
Because guess what? Black love is beautiful. Let's
Love
just
it.
put it out here. Black love is a beautiful thing. So we're not here to tear nobody down. We're not here to step on nobody's toes. We're not here to hurt nobody. We're here to tell you the truth. So if it cut deep, it's cutting deep because it's cutting away some of the stuff you need to get rid of.
And tomorrow starts a new day.
It starts a new day. But we're here to help build each other up. We're here to share information, wisdom, and knowledge that we didn't have. So guess what? We're going to share because we want y'all to be successful. We want your relationship to work. We want your marriage to work. You know what I'm saying? So we're speaking from a place of past. So everything we talk about is real life situations. Like we're not pulling this out of a hat. We're telling you real life account. Whether you care or not, whether you go judge it or not, we don't care because we told it firsthand ourselves.
That's it.
So you can take it, let it resonate, do whatever you want to do with it. But I'm still gonna be me. My life ain't gonna stop. My bills still gonna get paid. My kids still gonna get taken care of. I could care less. You can see me on the street there tomorrow. I'm still gonna speak to you. Right. I'm still gonna smile. And yeah, I told you I was married twice, total of 16 years, and both those relationships were unhealthy. So yeah.
And I was married once for 16 years, and that relationship was unhealthy. And my name is Freema Kennedy. Like we was in a what you call them groups. But hey, listen, that's what motivational speakers do all the time. They speak from experience because it helps the next person. And that's all we're doing. We're helping the next person. You take it, you don't. But we thank you guys for tuning in. If there's something you guys want to discuss, make sure y'all inbox me. We can discuss it. I still take questions in the inbox and post it so people can get feedback from it. Remember, if you see a question colons, that means somebody asked me to put that up there. Be respectful with your responses. That's all I say. And as we always say on Let's Sip and Talk with Freema, peace and love.